Hey everyone, welcome back for episode 4. I'm beginning to lose my voice as I record this intro, but I have it for most of the video. Let's just jump right in. So I wanted to start this video off a little bit differently and showcase this method for maze random events. As you all know, the maze reward counts down from 100% until you reach the center. There are a few things we can do to reach the center faster. First off, a shorter path is going to be faster. You can view these paths on the wiki. You want the light blue or purple path from this image. If you don't spawn in on the right path, just log out without closing the dialogue or moving first and switch worlds. When you log back in, you will be put at a different spawn. The other way we can save time is by pathing to and opening doors efficiently. If you just click on a door, your character will path to the tile before the door, then pause and walk to the door for a tick before opening the door. This can be avoided by pathing directly in front of the door manually and clicking the door on the correct tick. In order to make this easier, you'll want to activate the Tile Indicators plugin in RuneLite and modify the settings as shown. When your true tile reaches the door, click the door to open it instantly. As you walk through the door, start spam clicking towards the next door to begin moving as soon as possible, and adjust your path while you move if needed. Once I'm pathing towards the right tile, I like to right-click the door to make it easier to click Open Door at the right time. Using this method, I can pretty consistently get 79% maze reward. I'm going to save my genies until I get a book because I'm 29 XP from level 3. 94 woodcutting. I'm holding on to 2 lamps now. I went on a little bit of a mean art grind. Now I have some pretty clean combat stats. Astute viewers may have seen me wearing these already in the last clip, but I finally got the mime legs. Finally got a dunce random. There's 3 hunter and both lamps used. 24 fishing. 95 woodcutting. Another book is 4 hunter, and I was holding on to a lamp as well. 25 fishing. 5 hunter. 26 fishing. 96 woodcutting. 27 fishing. 97 woodcutting. 6 hunter. Here I am cosplaying a Barbarian for the Casual BA Advent Calendar Challenge. The events were a lot of fun this year, and I'd like to thank the Star team for putting them on. Seven hunter. 98 woodcutting. 28 fishing. 'Somehow I opened my bank and then got away from it quick enough that Dunce didn't despawn, but there's 8 hunter. Later the same day I got 9 hunter. decided to bury some of the bones in my bank to set this up. There's 40 prayer, 99 wood cutting, and 400 total, all at once. That's what I was planning in the last video. I actually opened 300 nests in this video, 100 at a time, and rather than bouncing back and forth from nests to woodcutting levels, I decided to put all of the clips together at the end, so here we go. I accidentally opened this orange tree seed, so it will be in my inventory when I do the next 100. And I did finally end up getting dragon fruit seeds, so I'll need to plant them if I get the Gnome Stronghold tree patches. I also have a few mystery boxes to open. A Myth Sim and Steel Plate are the dream team of mystery boxes for some accounts, but not of much use to me now. I'm happy with Nature's though. In this episode, we'll cover healing and funds. Healer is the last role to finish most of the time, and everyone else works to help you get done faster. In order to finish as quickly as possible, we use codes. Codes describe how many food to use on each healer and when to use it. Some codes rely on overstocking, which is when the defender calls immediately and you right-click to take additional food before left-click stocking. You'll see me do this on waves 4 through 9. Each wave has a set number of healers that will spawn. Healers attempt to spawn every 6 seconds, but some healers, called reserves, can only spawn once a different healer has died. You may hear me refer to a healer by a number, such as 6, 12, or 18. This refers to when the healer spawned. The 6 is the first healer, the 12 is the second, and so on. I'll put the healer spawns and the codes on screen as each wave starts, so you can follow along with what I'm trying to do and why I'm doing it. Wave 1 is easy. 2 healers, no reserves, a simple 1-1 will finish in 30 seconds. I usually do 2-2 in case I'm late or use more food to warm up my clicks a little. Here I click the food and right-click the healer before using the second food. I call this preloading. If I use it right away, I could end up bumping the runner, and if I do that, the wave will end late. I wait until the runner is about to move before I use the poison. I'll talk more about bumping runners in the Defender video. Wave 2 is much the same. 3 healers with no reserves. The code here is 224. I almost misclick logout here, and I realize I haven't switched to the modern layout. I use modern layout for healing because it positions the food in my inventory closer to the healers. You'll see why this is important later when I'm spamming healers. Wave 3 also has 3 healers, but one is a reserve. I wasn't supposed to overstock, but you'll see I grabbed extra tofu before stocking because the defender called tofu. Unfortunately, it was the wrong call as well, so I made it up to the healers with only 7 worms. The code on 3 is 161, which requires 8 food, so I did my 1-6 to get the reserve out and waited. This could have gone badly if the second call wasn't tofu, but here you can see why the modern layout is important. When a healer is standing still like this, it can be poisoned once every tick. If it's moving, you will use at least 1 tick to move next to the healer and 1 tick to poison it. Wave 4 we start overstocking. I need to hit 254 on the first 3 healers, and it can be tight getting the first food onto the 12. I poison the 6 once and immediately run towards the 12 to get there on time. Right here you can see an extra hit splat. There are 3 stacked up even though I've only used 2 food. The extra hit splat was the first poison tick that comes 3 seconds after the spawn, and confirms to me that I poisoned it on time. I get my 5 food in before the 18 spawns, poison that 4 times, and get my last food on the 6. I know a reserve is spawning at 30 seconds, so I position myself to catch it. Then I prepare to guess the correct food. If I wait until food is called, it will be too late. I slightly delay using the first food on the spawn. This allows me to trap the healer against the wall if it targets the collector or defender. If I click right away, I wouldn't slide with the healer into a blocking position and it could get away, making it harder to kill. Wave 5 has some very tight timings. As I approach, I click on the tile marked slide. When my true tile is about to reach this tile, I use the food. This is called a healer slide, and normally it positions the healer against the wall, which prevents a bad spread. I clicked away too soon and my second food didn't go off. I poison the 12 5 times and prepare for the 18 spawn. It needs to be poisoned once immediately and once again after a poison tick. The 24 has to be poisoned for the 3rd time exactly at 30 seconds or the wave will not end in time. I know the wave will end at 54 now because the poison ticked on the same tick I used the food. Once I use my food, I call 54 in the chat to let the team know the code is good. On wave 6, the main will extend the second call with a skill cape. 3, 18, 5 on the first 2 healers will get my reserve spawned on time for this X. I get my 2 food on the 6 and don't click away early this time. I failed to catch the 12 on the wall though, so you see us dance around as I poison it slowly, 2 ticks at a time. The only hiccup here is as I go to repoison the 18, I use the food on the wrong healer and quickly click the ground to cancel my action. I repoison the correct healer and move south to restock. Along the way, I call and destroy the wrong food to make room for worms. I'll 3x restock and head back. I can take this much food because the main will extend the call, so I'll have plenty of time to use it. Static should have one of the reserves stuck on the wall, and he needs me to block it so he can repair the trap. Now I just need to spam the last 2 reserves, and sometimes I need to repoison the 24 once. Usually red eggs will deal enough damage to take care of the 24, and that's what's happened this time. Seven is my hardest wave. I'm double overstocking in order to kill 3 healers before 60 seconds. This will spawn the reserves in time for the main to extend the second call. If the main extends before the last reserve is out, that healer can't spawn until the cape ends. I'm supposed to get 2 27 6 6 1, but the 12 bounces immediately so it becomes difficult to get 6 food on it. I managed to get 5 on each, and I'm late to the last spawn, but this is still fine. As I'm poisoning the 24, I preload the 6th food for the 12 and manage to use it just as the call changes. Normally you only need to repoison the 6 once, but I'm pretty late getting here, so I use some extra food to make sure the reserves get out on time. Normally you 4x restock here, but I know I'm late and won't finish before the cape ends. I take a 3x left click restock instead, so I have food for after the call change. The 24 followed me down here, so I poison it now before heading back. I'm supposed to poison the healer on the cannon before running to the corner, but I was scrambling at this point, so I lost a bit of time running back and forth. When you're on time to these last healers in the corner, the code for them is 9:11, but I know I'm late and will need to use some food after the cape ends. I make sure to poison both healers by right-clicking the stack so they both start taking damage. I guessed the food after the call change, and luckily I was correct, so the wave ended at a reasonable time. Eight is pretty straightforward. I just need to spam the 12 and get everything else poisoned on time. Once I've used the food though, there is a new spawn coming at 30, and I need to get in position to guess food. In the second call, everything needs 1 food, except the 36 which needs 2. I like to guess my food, wait for the 36, poison it twice, then poison the 3 healers with the lowest HP once each. Usually they are ticking 3s from poison, but if I'm early enough they may not have ticked a 3 yet. After the restock on 8, there are 2 repoisons that need about 2 food each, and 1 fresh spawn that you need to spam. I got focused on the one I was spamming and missed the RP north, so I lost some time here. I totally clowned on this 9. We're trying to blue 9 here like in the previous collector video, but I do a lot wrong. First off, I'm only supposed to have 1x overstocked, but I doubled, so I had way too much food. The B9 code is 927111, which is essentially the same as 8. Because I doubled, I now have to count to 9 instead of just using all of my food, and I lost track of the count. I thought the healer had too much HP left, so I used an extra food on it after the call change and it died early, causing the blue to fail. Not only that, I used my food too fast in the second call, and you can see an unpoisoned healer lured onto me while I have no food. I booked it for the dispenser and stocked quickly to get some poison into this healer before the call change. After the call changed, I thought a bit and realized I didn't have enough worms, so I went back again for more food. I'm spamming this healer out now because I thought my last reserve wasn't out yet. I repoison each of the sided healers once, and then spot the last reserve which was already out on the cannon. At this point, I just have to spam this last healer down because the lures were good and there are no loose RPs. Ten has the same healers as 7, but I use a regular stock code for it because the collector can't lure the 6 from me the same way he does on 7. With the Explorer's Ring, you can alch your horn to get 9 of each food, but I don't have access to that as a chunk locked account. This makes the code harder to achieve for me when the first call is meat, but we get tofu here. It's still pretty messy though, because I misclicked trying to poison the 18, which almost caused me to miss my RPs. Missing your RPs on regular stock 10 means spawns will be late. Not only that, but I get meat second call, so I have 1 less food. Then I accidentally use a meat on the wrong healer, putting me 2 food down. Normally you use all but 1 food on this healer, but that's only 2 food for me right now. Instead, I decide to space my food on the 42, poisoning it once as it spawns and once again on my way back to restock. This will cause it to take more damage than if I had used 2 food right away, because healers tick 4s 3 times before ticking 3s. By spacing the food, I refresh the poison, and it will tick 4s for longer. After that's all done, I restock and head back to finish. Once the healers are dead, we just have the egg pass. I click the poison pool as the collector approaches to begin pathing, but this won't dunk the egg very fast. You have to manually use the egg on the poison pool, then use the poisoned egg on the attacker after dunking. Now I'm done and just have to shoot the queen. I'm happy to have a full sub 12 run to show here, even though it was full of mistakes, and I'm looking forward to getting sub 11 someday. I only have 100 gambles to show this episode, but let's roll. Here are my stats and bank as of 500 gambles. I did bury some Dragon Bones getting 40 prayer, so I don't have as many of them as I once did. In the next episode, we'll see some Defender gameplay, and if we're lucky, we'll get the pet. At 693 GC, you have a 50-50 shot at having gotten the pet, so there's a chance we'll see it soon. I won't name names, but there's someone in CBA with over 4,800 gambles and no pet yet. Here are the music tracks as well. Thanks for watching. Bye!